One more going on PGO_Dota right now to tune into between Newbie and Liquid. It's a bit of a dead rubber, frankly, because it doesn't really matter who wins, except it does! Because the loser will face Secret in the first round of the playoffs. It's not something you want to happen to you. The winner of that match is rewarded with a game against IG, who actually were quite good today. So maybe that isn't quite the easy game as they might think. We're going to move on to a very important game between LGD and Optic Gaming right now. They're in the draft, so we're going to drop you in there. Our 3 panel members are back with us once more. We've got Winter rejoining us alongside Blitz and Cap. How you doing, boys? You all right?
Good.
All ready for this one?
Yes.
All right, draft is underway, so we're going to get right in there. That's an interesting first pick from LGD.
5 seconds remaining.
Are they giving Optic their Chen?
Well, they're giving Optic some Sand
Because Optic did not take the Chen last time around, so if you expected that.
I mean, to certain teams, I think they view like Kotor as like a good way of dealing with the Chen.
Yeah.
So that's why it's open and they chose to go for the Kotor first pick. And I think they understand that if they go for the Chen first pick, Optic would pick Kotor. Maybe they are reading the situation that way.
Yeah, maybe they're both reading it the right way.
So both these teams are, or Optic is...
They're still in with the shout right now. At the moment, Optic is 2-1, LGD is 2-0. If LGD win this, they are guaranteed through. Optic are guaranteed to not go through, and TNC are also guaranteed to go through.
So does TNC
and LGD will both be 3-0. They will have to play the last game.
They have to?
They do, because apparently it matters to who finishes first or second when it goes through to the playoffs of the second round.
I see.
It just determines like which side of the bracket or whatever you end up on.
In theory, if you win the group, you should be on the easier side of the bracket. In theory, of course.
I would bet decent money that those teams will forfeit.
So the VP secret game did matter.
Yes, it
mattered.
It actually did, yeah, because it meant that Secret would finish 4th instead of 3rd.
Yeah, so again, it's like you're in the same quote-unquote position, but you'll end up on a different side of the bracket, which may mean you'll end up against a tougher team.
That's all luck and draws anyway, because someone will inevitably upset someone, which then
half the time it's like, oh, the 3rd place team is facing the 4th or the 6th place team.
But it does make a difference to Group A between Liquid and Newbie, because whoever finishes above each other will end up falling down to play, in theory, a harder team. If Liquid finish 4th in that group, they would then play the 5th place team, which is Invictus Gaming, in the other group. Likewise for Newbie. Here though, Optic have to win this one. This is do or die for Optic. If Optic do win this one, it still doesn't guarantee them a place in the next, in the second round of the playoff bracket, because they have to wait and see whether TNC can beat LGD, and if they can, then Optic would finish 2nd. If TNC lose to LGD, then you have a 3-way tie for 3-1.
But it would be by time rating at that point.
Yes, not relief will. Don't worry too much. We're not carrying on
dog.
all night. Like I
heard
love
you like
Dota,
tiebreakers.
but when it gets to midnight and we've still got stuff to do, then it starts getting a bit silly.
Oh, that's an interesting Weaver game. Did Optic run a Weaver game? You said there was 2 of them, right?
There were 2 Optic. There were 2 Weaver games so far in this tournament. Yes.
Weaver
1 win, 1 loss.
I'm guessing Weaver would deal with the Connell Beastmaster lane relatively okay, just because
he can absorb the pressure.
Yeah, Beastmaster can't really threaten you as much.
Connell BM's insane pressure.
Yeah,
like lane wise, it's really strong.
What's Secret did like Ursa against that lane? So you pretty much just like take more points in the Earth shot, and you try to run up to the Kotor or the Beastmaster, and they can't really trade against you because you're Ursa.
Didn't they have some sort of healer? Did they have like a Warlock or something like that to keep the Ursa up or something?
I can't remember.
Are you talking about the Weaver games?
No, we're talking about how Secret ran Ursa against this duel.
Yeah, the 2 Weaver games, TNC played it against Liquid and lost, and Vici played with it and beat Liquid.
Radiant team pick.
And I was just thinking that maybe a side lane DK would deal with that as well.
Were there 2 quarters against Liquid last game?
They had Dragonite and then Lifestealer.
Yeah, Dragonite, Lifestealer.
And then the game before that, it was Dragonite and
PL.
Yeah. Because they were facing a Terrorblade.
Terrorblade has high armor, and high regen.
But do you think it's good enough to deal with the pressure of this dual lane?
Not sure though. Depends on who's the lane support. If Dark Willow's the lane support, I'm not sure if it's gonna go well. But I think TB should be able to still farm. I've seen like TB, he gets pressured a little, but he still gets a good amount of farm. And he should be fine. I don't think he'll be at the point where, oh, I can't even touch creeps at all. I'm out of regen.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Or the other option would be to have just 3 heroes there. So you basically secure the lane for TB. But generally, we've seen teams shy away from having 3 heroes in one lane right now.
LGD's turn to pick.
So they have the Puck plus Dark Willow. Seen this a few times today. Once from LGD, I think.
The double phase.
So we're referring to the, for anybody listening right now, we're referring to the coil and then terrorize combination, right, winner?
Yep.
So it's something to force the coil to be broken, because as we saw earlier from the Optic Liquid game, that was the last one. What was the one with the puck? Felt like that initiation was just bad.
Optic Newbie,
yeah. That the Dream Coil initiation just looked really bad, because most of the time Optic were just able to turn and fight. So
you just chill.
Yeah, you just sit there.
There's no
Come
damage,
at me, bro. So you gotta find a way to break the coil. You have to actually force the enemy to run out, and terrorize is a good way to do that.
Radiant team back.
Faceless Void.
Faceless Void, huh?
So it's a mid gyro, or potentially it's offlane void too. But they ran it as safe lane void.
Yeah, it should be safe lane void and offlane Beastmaster and mid gyro.
Yeah,
it should be that way.
In which case, Optic's fine with that because they've got the puck versus gyro.
I mean,
so
I noticed LGD has been like leaving the last pick for supports a few times already. They have this tendency to pick up 3 of their cores very early. Not sure if I like it too much, but I have to see like more of their games and try to find out why. Like, what do you think is the main reason they are trying to do this? They always leave the last pick for supports, whereas normally you would leave like as commonly the mid hero for the last pick.
I mean, in this position, they don't really have last pick, right? Like they're going to have to
yeah, I mean,
show 2 in a row no matter what. I think like once they see the TB, the Willow, and the SK, they feel comfortable taking the gyro because they want to end the game, I think.
So you want to pick the hero that's likely to be banned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I whenever I see these like the 3 cores picked up, for me it usually means, especially if you don't have last pick, is the fact that you feel like there's no replacement to this void, and there isn't, right? Like as a carry idea, like void is the only one who's going to give you that kind of AoE BKB breaking disable.
Yeah.
So we think this is an offlane void.
Oh, carry void.
Carry void.
Offlane
Okay.
Beastmaster.
It's not something they usually run.
I think they're going to do similar to what they did against Liquid and just run at them, constantly take fights, try to end the game before the TB gets online. And the thing about Void is that even if the TB gets a Manta, if you get on top of him, you can get the kill pretty easily. With this lineup, like you will kill him in the chrono.
And there's a replacement to whatever like 4 position initiator there is, right? They're going to ban Earth Spirit. There's still Tusk out there.
Elder Titan, maybe.
Elder Titan,
better
sure.
for their lineup. Against TB, and it's
enables the gyrocopter as well, set up by the Void.
Or have they sold everyone a dummy and they're going to run the Beast and the Kotl as support?
10 seconds remaining.
It's getting too late for you, Paul.
It is, isn't it? Just throwing wild conspiracy theories out there now.
He goes board level 1 and allows the board to do the support harassment for him.
And he starts with all Venom, right?
Yeah. Double poison.
I mean, Beastmaster has pretty strong stats at level 1, so technically speaking, no one can fight him at that stage, so he runs you down.
Let's not give any more credence to Paul's wacky
please don't. This turns into the wacky races otherwise.
Oh,
there we go. There's a more sensible 4-5
It's good against
combo.
Puck, TB, and Dark Willow.
This is a very similar lineup to what they ran against Team Liquid. Very similar.
Just I think just a solid hero to round out their lineup. They have the Chronosphere to set things up.
They had Nyx was the main difference.
Oh yeah.
Rather than Keeper of the Light.
But they do have this kind of like a double range supports, like more focus on like having better lanes, more stable laning phase. Catching wise, they do have Glimpse, Raw, Chronosphere, all pretty useful. Not dependent on Chrono because they have the Raw. I think all in all a very like balanced draft from LGD. Quite all rounded.
What are some 33 heroes that are left?
Sand King, is he gonna play the Sand King?
Maybe.
But then it would be like
Visage is still out there.
Sand King Pug.
Dazzle.
Yeah, he's playing the Sand King.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So their cores are all like Terrorblade is the only one that deals right click damage, and everyone is like a 4 protect 1 strat. And against Chronosphere, generally not too big a fan of this kind of lineups against Chronosphere, but they do have the Dazzle to save the Terrorblade.
Yeah, it makes sense. Maybe they were looking at it, they probably felt like the combination of Roar, Chronosphere, and Static Storm meant that they didn't feel like their Terrorblade was actually going to be able to get off good Sunder, so they had to make sure he could live through that.
Yeah, but the thing is like they can just Chrono and get the Beastmaster, just scout the Dazzle and go for him.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Alright. Time to put some reputations at risk.
Reputation.
Yes, Winter, you need to step up because you are 1,465,000 right now. You're not doing very well at this prediction game.
You have to start with Will, otherwise Will will just like, oh, you guys
That's
both,
true.
You guys both go
Hey,
for
last time it worked. I went with Optic against their...
You're right. Let's start with
True.
Cap.
Wait, what? How does that make sense? Weren't you
Thank you,
supposed
Paul.
to start with Will?
Okay, and your prediction is?
LGD.
LGD. Will? Winter.
What? What was that?
Just go the opposite of me, Winter. Just go the opposite of me.
You think you could try me? I'll figure out a way out of this.
All right, production, feel free just to put
Just go the
anything in right
opposite.
now.
Just go the opposite of me. Just trust me, Winter.
No, I actually really like Optic more, so yeah, sure.
I'll go with
Okay,
Optic
Winter's
as well.
Optic.
Here we go.
It's like noughts and crosses or something like that.
As long as we
That's
force
all it
splits
really
onto
is.
one side,
Optic
it's
has
fine.
Dark Willow Park.
Yeah, Dream Green.
Yeah, let's go.
Green hashtag
All
green
right,
wall.
okay. Time to get into our second to last game. Apparently, though, we're also going to be postponing the 1v1, which was due to be taking place later tonight, but instead it's going to be taking place on the 5th. So you won't miss it. We're not doing anything crazy. It's just that it is getting very late here in Shanghai. And unfortunately, we don't want to keep the players too late. We still have one more game to come after this one as well. So the 1v1 cancelled for now, but will be played on the 5th, so you won't miss it. Let's get into our game then as we head over to our commentary team for this big match between LGD and Optic.
Thank you very much, Red. You won't have to see our ugly mugs for much longer because you just read our names and then we go into the game because it's well underway. The Foghorn's actually about 10 seconds out. So let's get it started. A little bit of harassment already has happened before we joined as we had to get the all-important predictions out from our panel. Very, very, very important. Mainly we just want to see Winter being shamed. How do you feel about the draft, Swindle?
I really like the Dazzle last pick. I think if they didn't have some sort of save, then the TB would just get focused and die, and then the draft would run out of damage. It's also an incredible laner with either TB or the Sand King. They're going to choose to put Zai up top. This was something VGJ Storm was doing in NA and all the qualifiers they won. This Willow Sand King lane is like so much pressure and damage.
And normally it's meant to be like the Beastmaster and Coddle was the OP dual lane. And you get both of them at the same time. So good luck to Ame, who's that faceless void in the safe lane. Sumnus and CC get to battle in the mid. And that leaves our bottom lane PPD Dazzle supporting Pycat against both Chalice as well as FY. That Keeper of the Light, never-ending spam, making PPD's life a living hell. He's already hit by, I think, 2 of those Illuminates of FY. But they're slowly cutting the trees out so FY doesn't have Fog of Water playing inside of.
Yeah, mid should be pretty Puck favored. Puck has nearly 20 damage on Gyrocopter, and especially if you get that second null up, it's like super difficult for Gyro to ever pressure this lane.
You should always have the burst damage too, right? Like, so if you need to get through a creep wave, if you need to do harassment, even to get away, you've got phase shift to bail out of any kind of attack from Somnus. Probably the reason 2-way is going to Flat Cannon, not so easy to escape from. Ame and 33 really going hammer and tongs with each other. They started doing this ever since Zai rotated over to stop X-Nova from doing the pull.
In bottom lane, you can see like heavy pressure already into the Dazzle TB lane. I'm not sure how this goes. I think you somewhat trade, but I always favor Beastmaster Coddle in a war of attrition.
Yep. As long as Dazzle can have enough mana to keep going, then it should be okay, though.
Yeah.
Looks like that top lane is finally coming back underneath the tower, so 33 and Zai can get some much-needed experience. Even if they can't contest their, even if they can't control their own 2-minute rune.
Yeah, I mean, game will kind of just play itself for a little while. I expect no one to really die in these lanes unless they make a mistake. So people will just be CSing. Slight lead in mid for CCNC.
Yeah, not too heavy for the moment. We know Gyrocopter can play catch up. 33, Arme, this could be our first blood. He's holding that Burrow Strike for a very long time. Zai can't reach him to attack, so 33 will have to dive underneath the tower if he wants this. There's Caustic Finale, but it's not enough. Arme can just salve straight through it. It's 33 who will actually be the one to die to X Nova. They really wanted to push that, but they decided to come up the hill just a little bit further. Now CCNC phase shifts at least one of them. Fairy Fires for the secondary attack.
I think he got 3 shield procs in a row, so it's like a 1 in 8 chance. A lot of coin flips. 3-3 just won, or sorry, lost.
Hard life.
Indeed. They are still losing the lane though. Ame only with like 5 and 2 CS, and this is actually more difficult than I realized. Like the Sand King versus Void is probably one of the best matchups for a Sand King. Like you can't really pressure him as Void, and especially with the Willow there, if they ever force your leap like they might now, you take so much damage and you just get harassed out of lane.
Okay, CCNC, he can't even have a courier bring him supplies. The bottom lane was too busy having stuff coming out to them. PPD brought 4 clarities. And the Terrorblade was able to finish up his magic wand because of the ring that was sent out to him. But in the meantime, CCNC is just trying to force this lane out. He doesn't have the regeneration to work with. He's at least got some of the money now, so he finishes up the secondary null, and he buys the salve. But he doesn't have the money for the mango he also wants to get.
Yeah. I like the build maybe went. This is something he's been doing all the way since TI5, this gyro mid, and he traditionally always puts points in flak. And when you're against a puck, I like the decision a lot because he'll obviously always dodge the rocket. This allows you to stay competitive and constantly push the lane back at him.
Where is his like? Okay, he's actually TPing all the way back to base, so didn't want to send the courier out, didn't want to spend the money on the salve. This does allow a double damage rune into CCNC, who will burn the money for the consumables. I don't know if this is as efficient, however. Like this is going to allow us, like, I suppose CCNC's not pushing the lane. He's wondering where the gyro is.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, right? He's the gyro's going to lose like 3 or 4 creeps of experience, but he also buys the boots and did not have to buy the salve or the mango to regen. So.
I think he only lost 1.
No, he lost 3 at the tower.
It was
when
okay.
He TP'd out. So
yeah, true. He's lost a lot more in the experience in the lane. 13 denies for CCNC to the 4 of the Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
As you said, like the puck does have the extra damage on him. And here's your first rotation, but underneath the Dire Observer Ward. So Zai, if he comes back down this hill before that ward times out, then it's already going to be revealed. And he didn't actually do it. He wasn't back in vision in time.
He'll hit 6 on this wave right now. He can set up for a nuke into 6 and just kill maybe.
Yep, well here comes that nuke. Throws down the Bramble. Somnus will get hit by it, but it's only takes off 1/3 of his HP.
And he really should have got that kill. If he just nukes first, like he hits the archer, nukes, it's coil, and then the gyro's probably dead.
Well, didn't happen. Which means X Nova makes his way in towards mid. Thunderstrike harasses CCNC. And Zai, well, he can't go for another combo just yet. It's 15 seconds on cooldown for the Bramble Maze. He can just give the Shadow Realm, which he did put the extra point into. He's got 2 in that. He can give that damage to the lane.
Yeah, bottom lane is just a total trade. Up top, approaching that level as well. The Void was behind thanks to the death, but
33's having a fantastic time. He just got so many caustic props to clear out that stack. He's now number 1 in the CS. He's number 2 in the net worth by about 100. There's Terrorblade, who, again, Pycat having a good game. Maybe even better if they can get this kill onto Chalice. He runs the Bramble Maze. Someone gave him a map.
Haystream picked up by Dazzle, though. Or no, actually saved for CCNC, who actually grabbed a bottle. You don't see that very often on mid-pucks anymore.
Because it's just the 2 nulls and then just a couple of consumables to stay in the lane?
Yep.
Do you think that's a reaction just to the flat cannon harassment that Somnus has done? Okay, there's your dream coil and control. That's the way you thought it was going to happen last time.
I think it would have worked then as well, but you know, still a really nice kill to pick up.
This gives some good advantage to Optic. And as the panel were mentioning previously, they really need this too. With this victory, they can claim a 3-1 and then The only way they do not make it into the quarterfinals is if you get a 3-way tie and then they lose on time rating. So a quick game's a good game for you on this front. Fire Strike away for 33, out of range of the glimpse of X-Nova. So he will be okay, and they're pinging to use the Shrine. Zai's coming over to keep the efficiency up for Optic.
Always nice when you can use a multi-man Shrine.
As opposed to the 2 that were just used by the Dire. Actually, I suppose FY caught the end of it. And X-Nova's not burning the top one.
They're going to bring a lot of people over here to do these stacks. And this is the one downside of Gyro mid, is that when you fall behind, you can't really stick around in the lane anymore. You're more of an aggressive hero. You don't want to play from behind ever.
Like normally the way like a Gyro gets back, at least in the safe lanes, is just to clean the wave and attack the tier 1 tower. But yeah, that's not an option in a mid lane.
He's actually going to rotate towards bottom with his ultimate ready. But
Chalice, oh my lord. He was standing next to those 3 creeps when the Shadow Wave connected, and combining with Metamorphosis and the Poison Touch slow a little bit, they bring him down. And Zai's going to go for another run into mid. CCNC's got Dream Coil. They want somebody to kill.
Really well played by Pycat and Peter. Just finding a kill opportunity, baiting him in with the heal. And all of a sudden, there's a meta TV there.
Yeah, here comes your first TP in. Quick Illusionary Orb away. Chalice does not have level 6. They're coming for the Arcane Rune. Somnus will not win that race. But now CCNC needs to hide inside the phase shift. A quick Dream Core catching 2. And Somnus and Chalice, they can't jump away, but they can at least glimpse back CCNC. X-Nova just got in range with that level 2 glimpse to do the work. And there was nothing PPD. Actually, he had the Shallow Grave.
He just, the glimpse threw off the positioning of Puck, and then he died in the cast animation.
That's kind of savage.
Up top, though, I mean, 3-3 still punishing the Void, but they're actually just trading up here. The other thing about this draft is that they really don't have catch outside of the ultimates until Disruptor has levels. Regarding LGD. So they need to play around Roar and Chronosphere, and the only real rotator they have is maybe Gyro. So he has to play super aggressive and just constantly play around the ultimates of his teammates. Kalo just wants to farm and push lanes.
He's going to de-push the mid for the moment. This does kill off most of the creep wave in the mid, so no joy. Somnus, in the meantime, making the most of his flat cannon to just accelerate his farm and try and catch up to this Puck. But the more he does this, the more level CCNC just going to achieve. Can phase shift the Illusionary Orb, the Illuminate.
They have 2 triple ancient camps right now as well for LGD. Both Beastmaster and Gyro can take those.
I think Chalice is dead again. If Poison Touch can connect. Oh no! Zai! Just too early on the Bramble. He thought he could keep running out, but ended up just being a TP away. Does make Beastmaster's life a bit more problematic. Goes all the way back to base, and Metamorphosis is still on cooldown for the moment, so they won't push the lane. But PPD's already establishing aggressive vision, and they're pinging out. They know what the Gyrocopter's been up to.
I like this ward from Peter. It's very rarely countered. High ground D wards will not get rid of it, nor will a ward placed in this area, like right here.
They knew something was up there, though, like a sentry ward from Nova's going to be off target.
Yep.
And they even know more because the Dire Observer saw him walk in there.
Yeah, they know there's a ward, they just don't know where.
Is that X-Nova getting more? He's got one more sentry coming on the courier.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he thinks it's near the secret shop.
Yeah, and the words of Pylai die. It sucks, but when you know there's a ward in there, you gotta do it.
He missed both. He missed both.
You gotta buy another. Find it.
No, top lane, we can find this. 33 is rotating up. The smoke will break. 33 needs to Burrow Strike instantly, but did not do so. Thanks to Chalice having that Roar available, they'll find the kill.
So maybe he's got to keep doing. Rotate around, find a kill with the Roar.
FY. CCNC just comes from the other side. It's like, fine, I'm going to commit my Dream Call, Zai. Well, terrorizes back the Keeper of the Light. Now to fear, he snaps himself on the Dream Coil. And this will allow Optic to take that mid-tier 1 tower with little problem, apart from the fact that LGD are getting a straight trade-off back. That top tier 1 tower with no Dream Core for CCNC to use. But he can kill off most of this creep wave. Good cash for the Puck.
The only downside of the Puck this game is that if he gets roared or chrono or disrupted, he's going to be super squishy and die. And they need a max grave on Peter ASAP. That hero can pretty much just win the game for LGD. Or sorry, for Optic.
Yep.
Wow.
Come on. It's not like he's going to shallow grave himself inside of his own base. Never forget. Never forget that it didn't mean anything either. Just good memes.
Sort of like
It's-
that guy that dropped that Yols at TI
Yeah.
after the game was pretty much lost anyway.
Oh, that guy that roared the stolen ball. Yeah. Shuckser. Never forget the French. Arme looking to run out of this one. 33. Can potentially burrow strike. Zai, you look for the extra control, but with a quick time walk away, you thought you'd be safe, but the epicenter damage combining with the Dream Coil control of CCNC will pick off that Faceless Void, the #1 net worth for LGD on the sideline for almost half a minute.
It's kind of the X factor for Optic this game is going to be just how much damage they can do in these stun combos. Like Willow, Sand King, Puck. I don't think anyone can live through that the entire game.
Somnus turned around just at the right time. The Cursed Crown will still get the stun. He'll go for a call down, but 33 ready to follow up with the Burrow Strike. Chaining the stuns beautifully, Optic.
Yeah. We saw this from Optic earlier with the DK Nick Sand King draft where they would just stun somebody to death. You don't even need to do that nowadays because you have a Dark Willow. So a Sand King stun and then the DAC, or sorry, not the DAC and
They're after Pycat up on top. He has one charge as Pycat just kills off X-Nova. If he can wand, the Chrono gets committed, but he got the wand off before the Chrono came out. And now Pycat, he potentially can just turn and sunder, but not when Arme's got so little life. It's just not worth it. So he gets the kill and walks away from 2 ultimates.
How big was that wand?
17.
That was must have been a crazy tread swap then.
It was, wait, he actually...
Oh, you know what it was? It was because the Dragon Lance was on Courier, right?
Yeah.
So he wands, and then gets the Dragon Lance, and all of a sudden it's like a bonus 150 health on top of the wand.
Bottom lane, 33. Yeah, Chalice is the easier target when he walks into 2 of the Brambles. Then you Burrow Strike or follow up, so Chalice will fall for the price of Dark Willow.
Optic looking really strong in this game. And the LGD lineup is a tempo and pressure based, and they aren't getting any. They still have these ancient stacks no one can take because they don't have the space.
I'm guessing Peter wasn't ready for that one. He shallow grave and still couldn't escape in the mid. Zaya's going to look for some revenge. Support's not coming fast enough. The Bramble. Okay, I'm going to say support's not coming fast enough. A Haste Rune is the thing that's trying to save Somnus. And the homing missile, Willow. 1 charges, 4 are available. They have to play the Fog of War inside the pit, but no, Somnus attacks. Gets the attack in just in time. But if it wasn't for that Haste Rune, he would have lost his life.
Yeah. What a hero.
Balance. It's all about balance. PPD's on bottom lane now. Smoke intact. Tree line, however, is not, but Epicenter. Chalice just walks in to finish off the tower. This is when you just beg the question, is it worth it? Is it actually worth it?
Technically, yes, but
Money-wise, it looks like it.
yeah, Tower Deny is worth like at least 1 death, possibly even 2, depending on who the heroes are.
So it's like, I know these numbers. I can play this. Oh, Pycat. Having both Reflection as well as Sunder on cooldown, Time Dilation actually gets to do something more. But, and again, Pycat's not too scared. His Sunder's off cooldown in 10 seconds time. It's got enough 1 charges to bring him in Sunder range.
He's just so far ahead of the game right now, it feels. He's a Dragon Lance and Yash already. Like, you scale so quickly when you have these items. If you look at his counterparts in the Gyro and the Void. Void is a mask. Gyro just has 2,500 gold. I'm not really sure what maybe is saving for. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people don't spend their money.
Well, he just spent a large portion of it. It's coming on the courier now, so Ogre Club.
And the drums.
And drums.
Why not just... okay.
Well, yeah, why not have the drums already? Why not, like a bracer? Like either that by itself would be good, but maybe it's just decision timing. Couldn't work it out completely.
He chooses the drums BKB. Not a common option. Pretty unconventional.
But you've got so much magical control that's there, as well as that damage, that magical pop damage of Optic. As long as you don't get initially stunned by the SK, it can work. But 33's already got his Blink Dagger, so that initial stun is there. And 33 will change the way he takes these fights. Like, so far, he's been sitting on the back lines. He lets the Puck do the jump in with Dream Call to begin with, and then he follows up with the Epicenter. Maybe now we see him start with the Burrow Strike. But LGD forcing in the bottom lane. Maybe that's also another reason why he likes to go in late. You get that Faceless Void Chrono out, and then you just throw an Epicenter smack bang in the middle of it. With the Burrow Strike stun, so he doesn't get a lot of time out from it. Into the trees, Arme actually getting revealed. Silence almost in the mark, and they do see Arme Jaunting forward. Nope. CCNC holds it. They have instead 33. Epicenter and Burrow Strike connecting the Void, but he time walks it out. Stunned up in the trees, terrorized to make him run, but he actually couldn't. He was trapped between 4 trees, so nowhere to go. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide.
LGD is a bit concerned about taking fights. They really just want to continue to rat the map, play for this Coddle Ags timing. I think that that'll give them the strength to win team fights.
They just smoked. PPD is going to walk into it. PPD also, actually, no, they managed to walk around it. CCNC will be the one to walk into it. The Storm, the Roar, so quick. No supports nearby, and the Illuminate would have killed him anyway. So X-Nova ends the 3-time killing spree. Trade-off, Tier 1 tower bottom. No aggressive vision down either for these two. They don't actually have an Observer Ward. It's a defensive one underneath the Sentry of LGD. Because if they had the aggressive one down, they'll see X-Nova wrapping around the side. So Zai, well, he just wants to get the hell out of there. Started his TP and then cancelled it because Pycat rotated over. PPD came back into the fight. Somnus is here. Zai, okay, that's a big Ancient Sack. Maybe he can deny himself off this, or he could just use the Bramble, homing missile as well as flat cannon. Somnus, efficiency for farming as well as killing at the same time.
His BKB is going to be a big timing for his team. Just the recipe away. Kyle approaching Ags. He's halfway.
Then we start turning this into a global split lane push, not to mention Gyrocopters that strength to fight and not be victim to the Puck Willow combination.
I mean, I don't know if you'll ever not be a victim to Dark Willow in this game. I still can't believe how much damage Bedlam does. 60 times 12.
It seems good. Not gonna lie. At least the cooldown was increased. Like, it's 30 at level at the third level.
I was wrong. It's 60 times 16.
It's
960 damage. Just wait till he gets at second level. And it's I'm not going to do any more math. It's going to be a lot. And that's one of the things that's great when you're playing against a Coddle is having some hero that can hunt and kill him. Because once you take out the Coddle, the LGD draft just loses a lot of its survivability once he has the Sags.
Optic just saw the quad stack of LGD inside their own jungle. Pycat doesn't have his Metamorphosis, so this will be very difficult just to claim. Not to mention the fact that Arme is just forcing the bottom. Oh, wait, hang on. No, you've got everything you need to clear through that.
The maxed out Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Very effective on those new Ancients, which are really the troubling ones because the regen aura and the big clap and disarm.
Everyone gets a bit of a share. CCNC was forced to TP towards bottom lane to get rid of that momentum that Faceless Void began. CCNC is also looking for kills. Like he went the Blink as well as Veil to begin with. He's got Yule's next queued up. So more control factors, a lot more elusive as a hero as well. It's going to free up PPD to Shallow Grave and just focus on keeping the Terrorblade alive, who also has Dragonlance for Manta style. And he's on his way to his BKB.
I like the difference in styles in this game. You see Optic running a very blatant like 4-1 strat, and LGD, ooh, they might actually go for this.
There's no follow-up. And they know they're being surrounded because everyone's been missing for a while. So Charles is on the run as the cover of Shadowblade. PPD threw down the Observer Ward. Charles, yeah, okay, yeah, ping, 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 ping. We know. They can see us.
Yeah. It's good to know. That's a lot of information thanks to that Shadowblade from Chalice. Yeah, it's a really interesting draft from LGD. Like 2 cores, 2 semi-cores in the Column the Beast, and then the Hard 5 Disruptor. But you can see it's just everyone's got farm on this team. And once they all hit their timings, they want to look for a fight before the TB becomes like a full item ahead of the game.
Yep. Well, TB's going to look to take that Tier 2 tower up on the top. Arme's been pushing in the bottom lane non-stop. So a TP from CCNC may be in order just to do the counter push.
BKB on Void, BKB on Gyro. Coddle is the point booster away from his Ags. So it's about 3 minutes from now. That's when LGD should be looking to go. They might want to use their BKBs for a pickoff or a kill here. And yeah, they will. They're going to smoke.
If they can find the target. Now out of range of any Observer Wards of Optic, and they'll walk right underneath one of them. Zai's in the neighborhood. He's underneath the Dire Observer Ward, so is 33. The Roar is out, and they just leave Zai to die. Even recall back in? Okay, maybe not. The glimpse is there. So 2 heroes lost for a 5-man smoke maneuver. This now allows LGD to go into Roshan.
And the thing is, they used a couple ults, but they still have the big team fight one, which is the Void Ultimate and the BKBs, so this is safe.
Is PPD considering an aggressive... he's considering an aggressive weave. Gets some information, drops down that armor. Puck ready to jump in as well and looking for the movement. They're already starting to run out. Kinetic field is up. They don't have anyone locked in position. Roshan still down low. This weave is approaching max. They've got -9 armor with the BKB. Ame will survive. He's still got Chronosphere. 33 can't get out, so they have to shallow grave him. Buy some time, but Zai, he's preparing and everyone get terrorized. And they jump in deeper. CC&C with the Dream Coil. They've already claimed 2. The snap onto Somnus. They can't follow up. Pycat was pushed back by the blinding light, so he can't attack, but he knows Roshan is low. They want to finish the job. Chalice is back in again. Doesn't have Raw back just yet. They have the dust. They see him. They want to bring down that Beastmaster. Another quick jump up. It's kill time at the moment. It's actually a soloing. What the hell? FY is being kept out with the gyrocopter in the mid lane by Zai, almost solo. PPD's had time for a secondary shallow grave. I think Somnus has had enough of this. Into the Shadow Realm. Zai will come back out of it straight to death, but Pycat swapping the life with Somnus, giving everything back that was stolen previously. X-Nova and Chalice, the walking dead on the northwest side of the Roshan, who is also still limping. 2.3k on him.
The spells are back up on the Disruptor and the Beastmaster. Optic has to get out of here. No meta as well anymore.
And Chronosphere, Faceless Void coming back to life once more.
That Terrorize hit just as the BKB faded. Near perfect timing by Zai.
33 may still have a crack at this. He doesn't know the timing of Roshan. Do they see him on the cliff? Only if he walks into where the broken tree is. Then they'll see him. The Dire Observer Ward saw the TP arriving. So there's information for LGD and there's nothing for... Oh, actually, no, they actually have information because they got the conjured image, which is inside Roshan. Again, an aggressive weave out from PPD. This one hitting both Gyro as well as the Faceless Void. The two heroes you do not want to have negative armor on. But then again, that's only going to be really scary once Metamorphosis is back up. We're in a bit of a stalemate, so LGD, they turn their attention to the Tier 1 tower. So Optic can get reinforcements out there so quickly, as well as the shrines. They can attack from both sides. The Illusion still watching Roshan, this Tier 1 tower, clinging to life.
FY has enough gold for the Ags. He's just got to get to the secret shop, and it is daytime. That's hopefully what he does, yeah. You take this fight at Roche after you pick this up.
Mm-hmm. Daytime for almost 4 minutes. So, heals, vision, it all goes the way of LGD. And we'll see if Optic can actually scout this out. He walks in range of the creep wave. I haven't seen a ping just yet, but they'll realize it pretty soon. Never-ending blinding lights. Here comes your illusionary orb. Hitting onto the stunned up Faceless Void. 33. Epicenter gets prepped. He jumps in the middle of the storm. Roshan at 100 HP. Die will kill it. Ame hits the Aegis Immortal. And 33. Shallow graved up. Gets a Burrow Strike outside the pit. They have the control from the Chronosphere. Ame, he got Terror Blade. Protected by BKB, but not by friends. He has the Sunder Revival. Terrorize will be able to work. Beastmaster dropping down Pycat. Swapping the life with Ame as they want to keep going. But in the back lines, it's Zai being attacked by Somnus. Pycat, the last man standing in his Metamorphosis. He's battling Ame, who doesn't have the life, and thanks to the Reflection Illusion, you're able to attack inside of Roshan, but time dilation, Pycat, he may not be able to run, but he can stand. Ame up the hill and away. Pycat is such a beast that even with those 3 LGD players, they couldn't finish the job, but they got what they wanted. A great fighter out Roshan.
Yep. I think they ended up trading 2 for 3. They get the Aegis, they get the Roche kill, and the Coddle actually died to Ancients. Oh yeah, so you see the fight. The BKB, they had vision thanks to the Coddle, so they know this Epi is coming, so it's very easy for Void to just BKB, kill the Roche. Sand King ends up going down on the side after Grave fades. See this great Chrono from Ame, the Force Staff to the high ground by Coddle, but unfortunately dies to Ancients before Fairy Firing. And then you can't really do a damn thing to a Terrorblade this farmed when he's BKB'd and you have no roar anymore.
That actually makes it technically a 4-for-1 trade-off, so Optic lost 4 players in that fight. And LGD had one of them denied.
Yeah. And it also was a meaningless kill because he was out of gold.
Yep.
He had just finished the eggs. And they smoke again at daytime, exactly what you want to do. You have all your ults, keep the tempo up, and go.
Yeah, 75 seconds until you have Terrorblade back in a real fighting condition with Metamorphosis. He does have a double damage rune, as well as the BKB Manta. Not to mention he is by far the highest net worth on the field, but PPD, he is the recipient of this gank with that extra vision from FY they knew was in the trees. So LGD take the kill on the Dazzle and the Tier 1 tower. potentially forcing down the mid too. So small result as well. Newbie losing their game to Team Liquid. This keeps, well, actually it keeps no one's hopes alive as far as Team Liquid goes. It just gives them a slightly better position when it comes to the group. And that is the update from the other team. We have a three-way battle for the top 2 still going on.
It's better than another 5-way battle.
That is... give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. So yeah, if LGD actually win this, then they secure top 2. And then the last game is for placement, which actually does mean a lot because the winner of this group will not have to play Virtus Pro, who appears to be the most invincible team. They get in the opposite side of the bracket to Virtus Pro. So it does mean a lot.
See, maybe he's going to go for the butterfly straight away. Just more damage. And it's up, and Pycat actually, man, Pycat's item choice has been on point this game. I said earlier, like 3 games ago, I don't know, it was the start of the day, that item choice on TB was paramount to your success on the hero. And he notices the butterfly upcoming and immediately goes for the MKB. And the BKB pickup is the only reason that fight at Roche didn't go significantly worse for Optic. And this is the item he needs to actually be able to take down. Like, this is what he needs, and he's finishing it very soon.
Yeah, we were also highlighting it during his DK game 2 rounds ago of just how great Pycat has been playing. It's the presence of mind to understand how the game is running while still fulfilling his role, staying on top at all times, and positioning has just been absolutely perfect too.
It's a lot easier said than done. And shouldn't neglect that the blinding light of Coddle is yet another reason you desperately need an MKB on any hero that's going to be right-clicking on Optic this game. And that's really just the TB.
Well, he hasn't completed. Top lane's being pushed in by Optic. It's just a creep wave at the moment. They're setting a trap waiting for somebody to come back to defend it. It's a tempting thing for LGD to do because you can just TP up and then get recalled by FY. So you clean the wave. But they're pinging around the back. They're wondering where the vision is. It's a defensive observer sentry from Optics. They're trying not to get caught out the same way as before.
They're going Ags on Puck to set up for that incredible Ags-Puck Dark Willow combo. Land just one of those and...
Do Optic actually force this?
They might. They are at a power spike right now. But it's
no,
very hard to push into Void.
It's still an Aegis the Immortal on a Faceless Void too, so he'll jump in, he'll take all the damage, all the attack, and potentially time walk it off. If you don't kill him, then it's a disastrous fight. But they get some chip damage into a tier 3. Same's being done on the bottom, however. The never-ending push of LGD's bottom lane.
X-Nova is going to go for an Ags on Disruptor as well. I think that's the right choice here. We saw in the previous game how BKBs can just make a Naga Disruptor combo irrelevant.
Yep.
It's the same concept here, where it won't matter if he catches somebody after a Chrono if they can just BKB. Now he'll be able to just deny the Terrorblade the ability to BKB Sunder.
That would be a nightmare for the Terrorblade. That's when you just hope as CCNC you get that perfect Aghadim's ulti that he's looking for. So they can still get the snaps on these BKB targets. But it's so hard, like you can't terrorize him out of it. As you pull back on the Beastmaster, this is way too easy. You just Shadow Blade and get recalled. No one's gonna be attacking you, and no one can hold on to a gem, really, for Optic. Everyone's just easy casualties. So you've got Dazzle as well as SK carrying detection.
CCNC's got to be careful here.
That vision. It's still not daytime. Well, he actually jumps out. Orb, he's got Yule, so still under mana leak. Still got that homing missile coming his way. He burnt every single bit of mana and has got his wand in the backpack, so they just wreck him totally. Yeah, I don't know. Don't look at me like that. I don't have an answer.
He had a ward, too.
Yep, Observer and Sentry. Jump in, 33, gonna need to learn that epicenter sitting in the tree line, but he burrow strikes the back line, catching out the 2. Illuminate spam, no, the roar, the Shallow Grave! PPD got it off in time, now they can go for that Thunder, but the Bashes, there's your swap out! He takes off the life, and then Faceless Void will drop. Pycat is such a beast! The stun creation, the back lines from 33 made all of this possible, and Pycat, he wants one hit onto Chalice. He won't be able to reach it. Pycat has to stand his ground, got a homing missile flying at him, gets rid of it, but doesn't have enough life to survive. Somnus living through all of this. PPD couldn't reach him for a secondary Shallow Grave. So the TP of Zai, the sole survivor of that fight.
You can see why they picked the Dazzle, because that's a disastrous fight until the Grave and Sunder, but unfortunately there's no Puck. Still a better fight than I think you can expect out of Optic there.
Yep. It's that double stun on the backline that just looks so beautiful, and we can watch it again. So LGD looking for the target. They start off, didn't instantly know which one was the real Terrorblade, and then this control, the Raw, the Shallow Grave. 33 hits the backline.
Oh, it's just not enough,
Boom.
unfortunately. What a Sunder, though.
The axes were coming. Somnus was trying. But then they chased a little bit too deeper. They were looking for the kills. They weren't looking for the tower.
Yep.
Can't blame him for it, but it's Somnus still needed to be dealt with.
They just got a little over-aggressive. Like, Peter is still alive. He will be able to grave him at the end as it comes back up. But
we come back live.
Oh,
Raw
no.
out in CC&C. It feels like this is how we started last time. Terrorized. They all run away. The Bramble is down. CC&C got pushed away. He'll phase shift, dodge the Coddle Blast, and then jaunt Blink away to safety. Zai, the ultimate saver. The range of that save is also ridiculously good.
Yeah. We're getting to the point now where this single curl lineup of Optic begins to fall off because Pycat's no longer like this huge item ahead. And if you look at the Beastmaster Coddle net worth, like they're real heroes, whereas Sand King, Willow, they're falling off.
Sand King just picked up an Aeon disc, so he will be able to survive a lot more once he actually unlocks his Vitality booster. I don't know if he's holding that for a reason. Long day at the office. That's what it is.
It has been for me, that's for sure.
It's been great for me.
Yeah.
5-man smoke up. Can he switch this in already? Like, I'm really worried he's going to start this fight without actually having the Aeon disc. Unless he's missing something that I'm not seeing. Either way, here comes Optic, jump forward, Arme, double chrono. He got PPD as well as Pycat. It couldn't have been any better. 33 isolated by the Disruptor. They just can't save him all. The Aeon Disc will now give him the extra bit of life. The Sunder swap out, but no. Lotus Orb was there, so nothing happens. Optic lose 4, Optic lose 5, and LGD is stampeding down the mid.
To give your Optic, even though this game might be lost, you hold out as long as possible because there's a very large chance this might go down to time rating.
It definitely could. You never know. But actually, no, if LGD win this and they go 3-0, Optic
right.
at 2-2, yeah, this is a straight-up victory. Like, if Optic lose this, they are in the quarterfinals, joining Liquid as well as Newbie in that run. So it will be a more than a hard day at the office, and VG Gaming are the other team. So Terrorize, forcing LGD a little bit further back. They may be a little bit more patient about it. And then the Cursed Crown, Beastmaster is locked. Pycat, damn that blinding light. CC&C doesn't have Dream Coil available, so he can't hold the Beastmaster in position. LGD will actually be able to escape after burning Metamorphosis once again, and Roshan's up. Just to add extra incentive to keep the fight going. Pycat may have to use the end of this Metamorphosis to take Roshan. I don't think they actually they don't have a choice now.
Yeah. It's just so hard. It's 1 minute till nighttime.
But you've got 25 seconds without Chronosphere. So this is definitely an upside. But LGD, they're coming in. Look for the call down. This is the last big roll of the dice. Optic need this to work, and a Dream Coil. It does work so far, but they haven't snapped just yet. Chalice, he does actually snap the Dream Coil. Low on life up the hill, but then Pycat into the fight, looking for a good Sunder target. The Roar has been expended, but this Metamorphosis is timing out right now. 33 can get the double Burrow Strike, but he's up there by himself until CNC gets the blink forward. The Beastmaster will finally fall, but 33 will be the sacrificial lamb for it. Zai needs to get out of here. He cannot do so. Didn't have the Shadow Realm available. Being chased by homing missiles, not to mention the rest of the team, but CC&C in once more, killing off Somnus. 1,700 gold for that kill. So much money, but it won't mean a jack all if you cannot buy back, if you cannot stay alive. Then Terrorblade locked out, 4 heroes gone, almost a minute and a half for all of them. PPD time locked on the TP, and this will probably almost be GG. Well played at this rate. LGD can barrel down the mid, but the amount of damage they can do while Optic are dead is terrifying.
They might even look to go for I don't know. You just get 2 racks here, and you call it a day. Go back for Roche. It's nighttime now, so the threat isn't as high, but it's all just those couple of fights in the mid game. Optic falls behind, and all of a sudden you're at a point where how do you ever team fight into LGD at daytime? You just can't. There's no vision advantage. You cannot kill the Coddle.
33 can't stop this, even with Dark Willow respawning. LGD can just back up. You already start the recall on the Gyrocopter. They do Roshan. Optic will spend the next couple of seconds, or minutes, trying to get rid of their... Okay, Ame. Okay, yeah, BKB. He BKBs and TBs to the shrine. He knows the next target. It's Roshan.
Yeah. It's only a 5-second BKB
Wait,
already, so why not use
stopped
it?
that. The BKB wore off so quickly, he could have Burrow striked
Yeah.
him.
It's a hard thing to be ready for, though. You almost always expect TPs to be 3 seconds. By the time you realize it, it's like that last second of like, wait, that's too... Oh, no.
Yeah. Aghanim Scepter on the Disruptor. Aegis the Immortal now in their hands. And the cheese and the gyrocopters. 33 was trying to lay it. There's your jump forward. They've got the dazzle. Mana leaked up. Just way too much information for LGD. And without the dazzle, the Terrorblade has almost 0 chance of taking this fight. The control is just too much, especially with that Aghanim Storm.
It's going to be a really rough fight. The Gyro Satanic, they're so strong. And it's so hard to 100-0 anybody when you only have the one real stun in the Sand King. Other than like the Puck Ags and to Terrorize, but it's just not realistic to land that on multiple heroes.
Well, bottom tower gets mopped up. And a double catapult wave to it. Disruptor didn't TP down there in time. But LGD know the last port of call. It doesn't even matter with Disruptor. Like, Disruptor's loving this. Gonna pick up some extra consumables to keep this push going on the top. You've got 2 minutes till daytime, so LGD just have to hold the creep wave in position until that time. If they find a pick-off, they'll go for it. Until then, okay, they found the pick-off. The Scythe Device of FY going to work on CC&C. Space gets created, but here comes Ame. He got Zion the back lines too if he wants to go for the Chrome Spear. They thought that was the real one. They even shallow grave it up, so they waste so much time, LGD, trying to go for Pie Cap, but now they found the real one. But the Burrow, epicenter for 33, all 5 heroes caught. They're all terrorized as well, but it's too little too late. Even the 4-man curse crown is beautiful to watch, but really, it is all for naught. Optic Gaming, wiped from the face of the earth, and LGD will 3-0 it, joining TNC in that top 2 position. They will have the quarterfinal berth. They can avoid the best of 3 elimination game, and this is exactly where they want it to be.
Indeed. I think that these are the 2 teams that have played the best throughout the tiebreaker for sure. Arguably throughout the group stage, but, you know, they did need to play a tiebreaker to prove it.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of teams at 4-3. Like.
I think these 2, Optic, TNC, and LGD were the teams that I felt like were the ones that were on top. And Optic losing to both these teams kind of demonstrates that LGD and TNC really are on that next level at the moment. Yep. And that tiebreaker is going to be huge because, as you said, the winner will avoid VP. And I think that that's something everyone in Dota wants to do right now.
Yeah, so the next game is going to be also great to watch. Not just because it means you get to potentially avoid Virtus Pro, but TNC's been playing superb Dota. I want to watch more of them, and I also want to see LGD, like 2 undefeated teams in this tiebreaker, now go up against each other. That's going to mean like Dota from forced errors, not unforced errors. I cannot wait for that matchup, and I know some guys who also cannot. Welcome back. We got one more game, Red. One more game.
Indeed we do. The deciding match is now between TNC and LGD. They are the 2 teams that have qualified to the second round of the playoffs. Let's recap on this particular match before we look ahead to the last game of the group stages. It's taken us 50 games to get to this point where we finally have decided who have won and finished top 2 in the group A. Cam, it's another great performance by LGD at a very late stage. They finally come in good.
And honestly, it wasn't a bad performance by OG either. I felt like it was this Roshan fight that determine the game. It was like a 5-minute standoff at this Roshan pit as I think LGD got interrupted. He tried to do Roshan first, and then Optic interrupted, right? And then they got some sort of pick. There was a buyback from Optic, kind of stalled out a little bit more, and then it came down to this one final engagement. And then this was a very nice game-ending Chronosphere from Ame in many ways. The thing is that Optic, I always felt like after that Roshan pit, they were always like enough behind, especially since they only had the single core Terrorblade and LGD had multiple cores to be able to work with, that it was like very likely they were going to be losing, but they still kind of made a go of it in so many of these team fights and still tried to take over the game.
Winter?
LGD was like really hard pressed at the early game. Gyro had a very tough laning phase, but I think he played really well like to get himself back into the game. He had like nothing, just boots, and he was like still making rotations because he had to. The Coddle needed time to farm. Disruptor was like taking some time for level 6. He moved to the bot lane, he got a kill, he moved back to middle, he got another kill. Like he was just all over the place despite like he was like fourth or fifth, like third or fourth on net worth among his team, and he was still making all those rotations to keep his team in the game.
And we've seen maybe do that before, where he will just like have boots. He won't even have the completed drums, and he's willing to go around making space.
Yeah, when we were in the other room, the Chinese casters, they were talking about how maybe has changed as a player. He used to be like that kind of like star player. He wants all the farm. He wants the support to come to him. He wants to, you know, be given a lot of resource from his team. But right now he's playing more of the space creator, the core that helps sacrifice for the team and allows Arme on the Void to get a lot of space to farm.
Which is more like the meta wheel, isn't it? That's what we've been saying about the other teams that have been successful. Liquid being one of them. They can move people around. Those three M's all play around each other. It's not always Miracle that takes the farm. EG have done the same thing. Sack Fear off in the lane many times. All of the teams have had to adapt to this new kind of meta that maybe doesn't put so much emphasis on that mid.
Yeah, I think flexibility is almost always going to be the key nowadays. When everybody's so good at everything, you have to be the type of player that can adapt to your situation, and I felt like they did that very well. At the same time, I thought Ame was a beast in both the games that I've seen him play on Void. His Chronospheres were very good. He set up the fight, almost always caught a core hero that he needed to. Felt like that was very important for them as well.
Okay, we'll take a look at the scoreboard momentarily before we take a look ahead to the next matchup as well. Kat, this morning, when we came in, these two teams, LGD and TNC, were not the favourites to make it through to the second round of the playoffs. Instead, Optic and Liquid just had to win their final games against two teams that weren't very good at the point in time that they played them, Keen and Newbie. I wonder, are there going to be some regrets this evening?
Oh, there certainly is, and I can only wonder what the Vegas odds would have been on these two teams being the ones ending up in the top two.
Yeah, particularly TNC as well.
Yeah.
They could have been playing OG this morning or this afternoon in tiebreakers to stay in the tournament, let alone now fight it out for top of the group. Anyway, those are the final scores from this particular matchup, and maybe there were 15-3 and 15. There was a godlike in the middle of that as well. So who do you pick out, Winter, as your MVP?
Gyro, Somnus.
Yeah? Maybe.
Yeah, he made so much space for his team despite being so poor from the laning phase. He lost the lane to the Puck as expected. Puck had so much more damage over the Gyro, and he still made so much space for his team. So, very good performance from him.
Indeed. There is your MVP for this particular game.
Look at that kill participation.
It's nuts. Absolutely crazy.
And the guy only limited himself to 3 deaths, despite the fact that he did have such a rough start in the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, really amazing. And I think it's really cool for the storyline of maybe, you know, like I don't really know a whole lot of detail behind the Chinese scene, but we do know that maybe was very much heralded as like one of the new gods that was going to come in, shake up the Chinese scene. He gets snatched up by this LGD organization, and they just kept on, like, never really got to the point where it was like, oh, this is finally the team that is maybe he's going to go and he's going to claim a TI like people thought he would, you know, and so to be that kind of like person who's heralded as like, oh, what a great player and everything, and for him to make this adaptation, to not be the star player and to be the one who's willing to make this space for somebody else, I think is a really cool storyline for him and maybe some personal growth.
Yeah, for sure. Let's check in with the standings right now and show you where we are. We have just one more game to go. This is how it looks in terms of the tiebreakers. TNC with 3-0, LGD with 3-0. Both of those are now guaranteed to advance into the second round of the playoffs. Optic, Liquid, and Newbie will all advance to the first round of the playoffs, and they will have difficult matches amongst them as well. Liquid and Newbie just played, by the way, which is why, if you're wondering how that one's turned out, Liquid won that one in under 20 minutes against Newbie. And I can also tell you, interestingly, Kuro becomes the first player in history to hit 110 heroes played in pro games because he played a Weaver carry in that game as well. And it's like four more to go, I think. In fact, I've got it somewhere. Let me just find that before we go any further. I've got a list here somewhere. Where was it? It's here somewhere. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
I can't find it now. Where's it gone?
I'm sure Meepo...
There was a list. I had a whole list of things. Meepo's definitely on the list. Brood's on the list.
Broodmother.
Bristle is on the list.
What about
That's
Broodmaster?
Broodmaster, maybe... Where the heck is that
Paul
gone?
has so many papers.
I do have so many paperworks. And not the right ones at all. They're nowhere. I can't find it. I'll tell you after the break. How about that?
Sounds
Should we
good.
do that?
You'll look it up after?
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh,
Templar
TA
Assassin.
and Underlord. TA and Underlord are the last two, yeah. Did you see how I just plucked that out of the air?
Sure.
It's the magic. It just happens. Actually, thanks, production. You saved my backside there. Let's move on. We will take a break right now. One more game to go. It's an important one between the two winners of the group to decide who wins the group and therefore get slightly better seeding in the second round of the playoffs. TNC versus LGD is our last match of the group stage. It's coming next.